Yousef, I want to ask you a question, if I may, about a mutual friend of ours, a dear friend, someone we love very much, and who's been with us on this podcast, on this live stream, is Refaat Alareer. Refaat is a teacher. I'm going to ask you to talk about him. I'm just going to update people with two things. He wrote an article for us a few days ago that I think we can put up on the screen. I don't think we prepared it before, but Tamara will be able to find it while I'm talking. Thank you, Tamara. Refaat sent me an SMS message on Saturday, which it's been very, very difficult to reach him. He and his family have been displaced several times. He did send me a message on Saturday saying we are fine and making a joke, believe it or not. Refaat, I shared it with you, Yousef. And he wrote this article for us about how his family left the area of the Rantisi hospital and exposing some of the lies Israel has told. But Refaat, through everything that he's gone through, including the bombing of his house, including the loss of family members, including being displaced several times, has not stopped writing and has not stopped, I would say, effectively being our editor in Gaza, sending us articles from different people, helping them to write articles so that they can express what they're going through, sending articles any way he can, including by WhatsApp. I think you'll agree with me that Refaat is an extraordinary person, one of many extraordinary people in Gaza. But I just wanted you, because Refaat can't be with us today, just to talk about the work he has done over the years, because we have had the privilege of publishing so many writers from Gaza who have come to us through Refaat, and I feel like we should learn a little bit more from someone who knows him better than almost anyone else.
Refaat, I met Refaat for the first time at the Islamic University of Gaza. He was my lecturer, and I attended some of his classes, and he was one of the toughest lecturers I have met in my life, but I learned a lot of things from him. He was very tough, and he was not very generous with grades and marks, and but at the same time, what I learned in his classes doesn't match anything I learned in my life. For example, Refaat introduced me and many other Palestinian students in his class to Malcolm X. He taught us to be critical thinkers, and he opened, many windows for us to the outside world. He opened many doors for us. He connected us with websites. He trained us to be creative writers. I wrote a short story titled 𝐓𝐻𝐿 which was inspired by Malcolm X, that Refaat encouraged me to write. And he published it in a book called Gaza Writes Back. You can see it in the background, Ali's background. And of course, he encouraged many others. There are like 22 young writers from Gaza who contributed to this book that Refaat edited. He also edited another book called Gaza Unsilenced. And as Ali said, he encouraged, I would say, hundreds of people, young people. The majority of young people you see today on social media writing in English are his students. So he trained an army of writers and bloggers to write and to tell the story. He has always been interested in storytelling, and we even memorize some of his sayings. Palestine is a story away. Palestine is a stone away, he says. And you know, we're very much inspired by his work and his encouragement and guidance. Now, many of his students, dozens of them, are PhD holders, teaching at different universities in the world. Refaat chose to stay in Gaza, and he has been very active, as Ali said, tweeting and telling the story from Gaza. He refused to move to the south. He's in Gaza City, and it's extremely difficult to be in Gaza City these days, especially that Rifat has a family too. He's a father of 5, and he has to care for his family. He has to think about their survival. I also know Rifat as you know, one of the greatest people with a sense of humor. He always cracks jokes, and we traveled together to the US in 2014 promoting Gaza Rights Back. Rifat missed many opportunities because of the siege imposed on Gaza. He couldn't travel. He also contributed a chapter to Light in Gaza, another book. And many of the people in the book actually are his students. So Rifat is everywhere. I remember when I first arrived in Malaysia, we happened to be on the same flight from Cairo. He took me in. I didn't have a place. I didn't think about a place at the time because I was just thinking about leaving Gaza. And it took me 5 weeks to do so. Rifat took me in his place for 3 weeks until I figure out my accommodation. And as I said, we traveled together. We toured the United States for 1 month back in 2014, where we met Ali for the first time. And I'm sure Ali, you still remember his jokes about the pizzas between New York and Chicago and the fight.
We took him to eat deep dish Chicago pizza, and he was very impressed with it, I think. He still talks about it today. In fact, he's still sending me pizza jokes from Gaza now, even as even though it's so hard to communicate. And I hesitate ever to mention pizza myself, because it's like, well, how am I going to talk about pizza in a situation where people don't even have bread? But he continues to make he continues to have this humor, and I remember very well that trip, that photo there from when we met, and I remember we were together in Philadelphia also, and then again in Chicago. I didn't realize it was in 2014. It felt more recent, but I have very, very fond memories of that, and I'm just in awe of all the work Refaat continues to do under these conditions, and has been such an incredible resource, helping us to inform the world about what's happening in Gaza. I hope we'll have Refaat back on the live stream soon. I hope even more that we'll meet again. But I just wanted to, while we had you, Yousef, to let people know more about this this extraordinary person who means so much to all of us.
And I know Ahmed Masoud, I brought him back on from backstage to talk also about his friendship with Refaat. Ahmed, you want to chime in as well?
I've known Refaat for a long time. I mean, when I heard you guys talk about him, I was like, what, has anything happened to him? Because please don't, you know, he's one of those people that he is amazing and so important to Palestine in general. He's got so much energy, so much creativity, so much influence around his humor, his humanity is just incredible. I met him in several locations, the last of which was in Gaza in May, and we were talking about creative stuff we wanted to do with the students, and he was telling me about the students in Gaza just want to read the textbook and memorize it. You can't memorize a Shakespeare's play, you know, you have to understand it, you have to do it. and he was really angry. And I'm like, it's okay, you know, it's fine. Have some tea. It's all right. You know? But so passionate about it. Some of the stuff he did before on like an exhibition on the role of women in Palestinian fiction. I mean, who does that in Gaza, to be honest with you? He's just always thinking of creative, different ways of presenting and engaging his students. And as Yousef said, like kind of thinking outside the box and introducing new critical, creative thinking. I saw him in Malaysia as well when I visited there. He was doing his PhD. We went out on a ride as well, and in London, yeah, various locations. I think I hope that he's able to give us his voice, because I think it's really important and very unique, and I hope he continues to be well. I just messaged him now to say we're talking about you, so I hope you can see it.
Yes, and we're going to try and get Refaat Alareer back on as soon as we can, as soon as there's any let up in this just brutal insanity that we're seeing. Well, we're going to let Ahmed and Yousef go, and we just want to thank you so much, Yousef Aljamal, for all of the work that you do, and please keep us updated on your family. Of course, we'll have you back on very soon. And Ahmed, again, thank you so much. And the same, please keep us updated on your family. We're hoping that everybody stays as safe as possible these days. Thank you both.
Thank you both, and I hope we'll all meet again in happier times.
Yeah.